All right, today we are diving into one of the most challenging and I mean truly life-changing ideas in all of philosophy. We're talking about Friedrich Nietzsche and his radical command to say yes to absolutely everything life throws at you.
But our way into this whole thing starts with a bit of a puzzle. Nietzsche, the very same guy famous for saying God is dead, went and named a key part of his book, The Gay Science, Sanctus Januarius. That's Saint January. So what's going on there?
Well, the answer has basically nothing to do with religion and everything to do with a completely new way of looking at your life, your pain, and your destiny. It's really the key that unlocks his entire philosophy of just affirming life. To really get Nietzsche's cure, we first have to understand the disease he was trying to fight. And he believed that Western culture, as a whole, was suffering from a really deep spiritual kind of sickness. He actually called it a long illness. A set of values handed down to us that teaches us to be ashamed of our own strengths, to resent vitality, and to basically be afraid of our own potential. At its heart, it's a philosophy that teaches us to say no to life itself. So, what are the symptoms of this sickness? Well, Nietzsche saw them everywhere. It's a morality that praises weakness and calls it goodness. It's a fear of a real, messy, joyful life. It's that deep-seated resentment you might feel toward anyone who seems strong and thriving. It's a worldview that's always devaluing this life in favor of some promised next one, and even finds this weird, morbid satisfaction in its own suffering. And here's the thing. Nietzsche wasn't just observing this from a distance. He felt he was recovering from this very sickness himself. And that's where Saint January comes in, not as some figure of faith, but as this incredibly powerful personal symbol for him. Sanctus Januarius was Nietzsche's metaphor for his own spiritual thawing, right? Just like January kicks off a new year, this was a new beginning for him. This saint's supposed miracle, liquefying blood, becomes this perfect image for his own frozen, life-denying spirit finally melting and starting to flow with vitality again. And he captured this new feeling perfectly when he wrote, "I still live, I still think, I must still live, for I must still think." Now, that's not just about survival. It's a declaration of purpose. To live is to think, to engage, to be active. It's a complete rejection of just passively suffering through life. Okay, so if the sickness is this profound no to life, then what's the cure? Well, for Nietzsche, it had to be the most radical, the most absolute yes imaginable. He called it Amor Fati, a Latin phrase that means love of fate. And look, this isn't just about gritting your teeth and putting up with your life. No, it's about a passionate, active, and even joyous embrace of everything, the good, the bad, the painful, all of it. And this distinction is so important. You might think, oh, that sounds like the Stoics, but it's not. The Stoics taught acceptance, to endure what you can't change. Nietzsche demands so much more. He says, don't just endure what's necessary, actively will it. Don't just be resigned to your fate, joyfully embrace it. Don't just bear your burden, turn it into a masterpiece. This quote just nails it. My formula for greatness, Amor Fati. Just think about that for a second. To want nothing to be different, not a single thing, not one mistake, not one regret. Because if you remove even one moment, one struggle, the entire beautiful, terrible tapestry of who you are right now would just unravel. So, how do you really know if you've achieved this love of fate? Well, Nietzsche being Nietzsche, he came up with this devastating thought experiment, a test to measure the true strength of your yes. He calls it the eternal recurrence, and he frames it as the heaviest weight, the ultimate challenge to see if you really truly affirm your life. Okay, picture this. A demon appears to you in your loneliest moment, and he tells you that you have to live this exact life, your life, over and over again, for all of eternity. Every single pain, every joy, every boring Tuesday afternoon, it will all repeat forever. Now, your reaction to this demon is the real test. Would you curse him? Or would you fall to your knees and thank him, calling this the most divine thing you've ever heard? That second response, that is Amor Fati. So what's the result of passing this incredible test? Well, it's a new kind of health, a new kind of strength that's actually forged in the fire of suffering itself. And this is just such a powerful reframing of what it means to be healthy. True strength doesn't come from a life where nothing goes wrong. No, it comes from the recovery. It's the strength you gain not in spite of your illness, but because you overcame it. Ultimately, the whole goal here is to become what Nietzsche calls a yes-sayer. It's about stopping being a critic of your own life and starting to be its artist. You're given the raw material of fate, and your job is to sculpt it into something that you can look at and love forever. And that's really his final command to us. The miracle isn't some random thing that happens to you. The miracle is the act of taking your own destiny, all of it, and transforming it through your own will and your love into something spectacular. The miracle is you. So I'm going to leave you with this question to chew on. Nietzsche's whole philosophy challenges us to stop searching for meaning like it's some hidden treasure. What if, instead, he's asking us to pick up the tools of an artist and just build that meaning ourselves, right here, right now, with the one life we actually have?